Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the market close. Oh boy, I'm about a minute late. The camera was doing some funky things. I got it fixed. I always do. Um, Welcome to the stream. Welcome to your bonus Friday afternoon. Oh boy, guys, I got some horrible news. The weather forecast. Yeah, yeah, that's where we're going. The weather. Um, We're getting snow here in Ottawa on Sunday. It will be our first snow of the year. We're looking at about 10 centimeters, but I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. Normally, November should just be flurries, not anything that actually amounts to anything. So, yeah, what a week. Now, of course, we've had. What a week, right? When I say this, we have, of course, had a red day today once again after yesterday. Oh boy. And actually, you know what? Let's jump right into the charts. I'm just going to make sure I'm on the right chart. First of all, here we are. All right, let's pull it up here. All right, so here we're looking at the TSX. Believe it or not, we're only down 0.13% today. Yesterday, we were down a lot more. And you can see, well, look at this. This isn't all yesterday. This is yesterday here, that mostly. Then this is today. But as we moved into the afternoon, we've got some recovery. We've been recovering through the afternoon. Things are looking a little bit better. So this morning, if you were out this morning, this is what we call buy the dip territory. So you might have had some sales on this morning for sure. For the month, we are in the red. We're deep in the red. You can see that blue line. So that blue line, guys, that's where we started the month. So we are well below the blue line. We are having a red November thus far. I think we'll probably get back above the blue line, but I think by the end of the month, we're probably going to be below this blue line. So it is what it is. Actually, a lot of it is by about the middle of the month, we're going to start seeing a little bit of that tax loss harvesting impact start to pull the market down a little bit. This is what, of course, all sets us up the last 2 weeks of November, first couple of weeks of December. That tends to be our prime tax loss harvesting, and that sets us up for a Santa Claus rally towards the end of the year. So we'll see what we get. We're going to see what we get. But for today, we're down 0.12%. The S&P 500, same boat. You'll notice this is pretty much, it's like, is that the same chart? It looks a lot the same, a lot similar. Now, they're only down right now 0.07%. So not too shabby. The Nasdaq is down 0.59%. So it's good to see a little bit of rebound finally in tech. And I'll tell you, I got a few U.S. tech swing trades on the go. So I want to see some recovery there so that I can make some money. That's the goal. The Dow Jones, I have not yet adjusted the blue bar. I know I said I was going to, but I just didn't do it. The Dow Jones is currently in the green, as I was fessing up to not fixing the bar for the Dow Jones. They moved up to 0.01%, and those small cap Russells are up as well, 0.02%. Now Gold's up a full 0.61%, or well, 0.60 now. Silver's up 0.65. And our newest addition to the chart is we're going to start watching copper. Copper is up 0.30%. WTI, West Texas Intermediate, having a good day. Up, well, what is it? 0.78%. 0.78%. And Bitcoin and Ethereum having much better days as crypto's been on the rebound today, for sure. All right, let's head into the head into these heat maps here. I'm going to pull the side off. I'll get rid of the ad so we can see things. Of course, you can't see much behind my head. Those are just banks. That's fine. You can bank on. Oh gosh, that was terrible. Whoops, this thing is still, there we go. That's much better. So yeah, everything kind of, like, you'll notice there's not really any bright green in here. So things are either pretty flat, or there might be, like, well, they're up a little bit. Like Enbridge is up 1.16%. What else is up? Nutrien, 1.97%. Weston is up a 0.24%. So there is one little green down in here. What is this? Is that Algonquin? Yeah, Algonquin. Algonquin is up today, 9.70%. So I'm used to saying Algonquin. I'm used to saying Algonquin and dumpster fire in the same sentence. Not today. Not today. Algonquin Power and Utilities having a pretty good day. Pretty good day. I think they also had their earnings. I believe their earnings dropped today as well. So, all right, let's scoot down south of the border and see what's going on in the United States. And we can see once again, you can still see a little bit of red in tech. Tech certainly help. The tech kind of led our red yesterday. And we can see a little bit of it still lingering around. Like, look at Tesla down 3.62%. Google's down a full 2%. Broadcom 2.32%. Oracle's down. Apple's down. IBM is down. So yeah, but there is some green going on here as well. Like Palantir is up 1.92%. So that's not and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's having a good day, 2.21%. So yeah, the U.S. is kind of looking interesting. All right, let's. We're going to switch over here to crypto because we got about 5 minutes to the bell. So crypto having a pretty darn red day. Bitcoin up, Ethereum up. Look at XRP up a full 8.05%. Dogecoin up 12.18%. Cardano also up pretty big, 10.65%. So we're getting a lot of green in crypto. Now, as you guys know, I like to pick an altcoin that's doing the opposite of what the market's doing. So we're going to find some obscure red coin that I've never heard of before. Let's go with this one. What is this one? Waterfall. Yeah, this one is definitely like a waterfall. Basically, you're putting your money in it and you're watching it go over the edge and disappearing below into the rapids. I don't know what this does. Honestly, I don't even care what it does, but there's a lot of these altcoins out here. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. Now, this one almost looks like a dead person came back to life. I don't know why. Generally, you're going to lose money on these, honestly. There are the exceptions. And if you're really, really good and you do a lot of due diligence, maybe you can find them. Find a good white paper. Find a coin that does something that makes sense to you. Maybe you can make a good amount of money, because all of the big coins today, I mean, they all started small, right? But if you want a more reliable way to make money in crypto, stick to the big boys. Your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your XRPs, and yes, even the Dogecoin. All right, whew. It's time. It is time to hit the comments. Let's go big me. And in first, as usual, not something we're unused to, is Jonathan. Let's see. Am I late for a red day? You are not. But, well, if you're coming in now, you might have missed the red day, because let me just take a quick gander right now. Yeah, the TSX, it's still in the red, but it's only 0.09% in the red right now. So, maybe it'll hit the green before market close. We'll find out. Cowboy is in the house with a greetings all. And let's see, Paul. Paul says volatility with no liquidity from U.S. government shutdown. Oh, good afternoon. Yeah, the U.S. government shutdown, I believe, are we on day 38? It's been going, it's the longest government shutdown in history. So yes, that's certainly helping on the market. Also the fact that Tech really led this red that we've seen this week. Some of the crashing. And I guess if you look at somebody like Meta, you can see. I mean, yeah. Well, let's take a look. Let me just pull it up really quickly here because I've got Meta over here. Let's see here. Meta. Here we go. Hello, Meta. Come on up. There we go. I mean, look at this. Began with bad earnings, and that's kind of what we've been seeing. The earnings haven't been great for tech, and it's pushed things down. Now, on the positive side, Meta seems to have a little bit of recovery bill coming. I need Meta to come from here somewhere's maybe even up that high, and I will make some money on my Meta trade. So come on, Meta, move up, move on up. That's what I'm gonna say. And for in the back of my head when I said that, I heard the Jeffersons theme song. Don't ask me why. Yeah, that's what I did. All right. Cowboy says, was a good morning for buying. What did you buy? That's what I ask. You tell me it was a good morning for buying. I want to know what you bought. I'm kind of curious. Philly D in the house with a greetings from Windsor, Ontario. Well, hello. I imagine you're not going to get snow on Sunday, so it's a little warmer. I mean, you're south. You're a lot south compared to Ottawa for sure. Mario says, good afternoon, everyone. Gursky is in the house with a good hello, good afternoon. Stan Gray, a good afternoon. And Ian, reinvested dividends into bank, Utes, and ENCL. Looks like RMAX bumped up the dividend a hair. Nice. Yeah, and of course, RMAX is one of my plays, so I will not complain if the dividend bumps. Kenneth, buy more TELUS before and after earnings, dividend increases throughout next year. Okay, so you bought some TELUS. Nice, 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 nice. Ian says, greetings from Colombia. I run from snow. Yes, but they have a different type of snow in Colombia. Just saying, just saying. Or do they still call that stuff snow? I don't know. I think it was it. I'm not even going to talk about drugs because knowing my luck, the algorithm would say, wait a minute, what's going on in this live stream? Let's shut it down. Jim says, big fire sale lining up for Monday, just in time for Q-Day distribution to hit the account. Nice. Now, I will say, a lot of the big pressure that has been on the market this week, it is petering out next week. So we're not having as many, we're not having a lot of earnings dropping next week. So the market could actually stabilize in this coming week. So today may have been, like this morning, may have been your best chance on this dip. But you never know. You never know. Sometimes exactly what we think. Oh, guys, the market's closed. I was about 51 seconds late. That's fine. It's a Friday. If there's ever going to be a day that I'm going to completely fluster it all up, well, let it be a Friday. But yeah, so what I was saying is that, yeah, this morning may have been your best chance. I think the markets are going to be a lot more stable in the coming week. So let's, for your sake, I hope I'm wrong. For your sake, I hope I'm wrong. Doorpat, happy Red Day, y'all. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll keep my eye. I know right now, I think over here, guys, hold on. I have to do something, guys. I have to do something. Uh-oh. There we go. The market just went green. We're up 0.01% on the TSX. Here, I'm going to pull that off. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to come over here. Let me pull that up for you. The market just pushed above this morning. So 0.01. Now it says 0.00. I'm going to leave it until I got the final data in. This here has about a 15-minute delay on it. So it's got 15 more minutes of... it just went red again. I'm not going to play... I won't play with the sign. It was funny doing it once, but we'll see where we end. We'll see where we end. We'll be back here. We'll be back here in a moment for sure. Cowboy. Let's see. HBTE has been a roller coaster. Did some dollar cost averaging. Nice. And of course, HBTE, that ETF, which is your Harvest Bitcoin Leaders, it's been fantastic in the challenge. Like, it has a total return of over 100%. That's insane, guys. That's kind of crazy, but I will take it. I will definitely take it for sure. Jim says, I just put my snow shovel, pickaxe, sand, and salt bucket in the back of my truck. You know what? Not a bad thing to do. Not a bad thing to do. Funny little note, guys. If you don't have sand, but you got like maybe a bag of kitty litter, that stuff is really, really good if you get stuck. It's got that same grit as sand, so it's kind of like an option. Although honestly, I think sand is probably cheaper than kitty litter. Kitty litter's gotten expensive over the last since the pandemic, really. Philly says, let's see, Brookfield Asset Management reported earnings today and beat on earnings and revenue. Yeah. I mean, Brookfield's having a good time, and you know, I've always been a big fan of Brookfield, long before all of the recent drama around the PM and Brookfield. But yeah, Brookfield I think is a great company, and I think it's a one of the good ones. And kind of the nice thing is, because it's an asset manager, it's a lot like an ETF. It very much is. So, if you're a total return investor, dividend growth investor, Brookfield Asset Management, I can see it having a core position within your portfolio for sure. Rory says, snowing in Saskatchewan right now. Oh boy. Well, you beat me to the punch, Rory. Right now, I think it's raining here. So, but I'll tell you, earlier today, it was like it was -4. So, yeah, what can I say? Gursky picked up some Biggie and some Canny. Couple of Evolve ETFs. Evolve is definitely coming along. And guys, I am in the process of negotiating with Evolve to get an interview with their CEO. So I want to bring that to the channel. So I'm probably going to have that as a This Week Conversations, but it'll be a video episode because I can't get them live. It all has to do with legalities, because they have to, like, their lawyers have to approve questions and things like that. But I got some good questions that I think hopefully get approved. But that's something to look forward to. I think that'll happen before the end of the year. I think it really depends, because I have a feeling that I'll film it and then their lawyers will have to approve it before I can drop it. So that's what I think. There's a whole bunch of legalities around this type of stuff. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about the legalities, but I don't care. You guys know I don't care. I'll talk about whatever. Muddy Waters bought HEQL earlier today. Nice. Very nice. Michelle says, hey, happy Friday. I kind of wanted to say happy. I don't know why, but Lori comes in, hello, wishing you wealth and good fortune. What do you think about parking some money in VSB or VAB for a soon-to-be retiring investor? All right. I will tell you right now, I do not know a lot about these ones. So here, let's pull them up and let's take a look. First of all, see what we got here. Whoa, there's a screen from the video. I probably should just close that. There is the video. Yep. We'll close that. Actually, I wanted to go over here. There we go. The fun. We'll go VSB first. Let's pull up VSB. All right, so it is one of the Vanguard. I kind of figured it was Vanguard, but it's short-term bond. So I'm going to pull up. I'll pull up the last 3 years. So yeah, I mean, it's been moving up. I mean, I like Vanguard. Vanguard is managed well. That's one of the things I will definitely say about Vanguard. But But yeah, if you're parking money into it, it's not a bad choice. It's not a bad choice. So I think it's more or less you just want to park the money, use it at a later date. Yeah, that's a fine choice. I mean, I know I use T cash right now, but with interest rates going down, bonds, something like this might actually not be that bad of an option. And you are looking at a little bit of growth. Now, I don't know what their coupon rate is. Let's see. Well, actually, well, multiple coupons. So in this case here, you're getting a distribution of 3%. That's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. This is doing better than, like, I've got it parked in T cash. This is doing better. I think, yeah, I would say I like it. I would like it. VSB and let's go over here. What's the other one? VAB, another Vanguard. VAB. And this is the aggregate. All right, there we go. And I'm just going to pull up the last year. All right, yeah, this one's a little more choppy, a little more choppy. I like the overall movement. When I'm thinking about parking money, I liked the movement a lot more with VSB for sure. But yeah, this one has a similar dividend. And it looks, I mean, yeah, they've been doing well, I guess, lately. But overall, it looks like the other one's a little more consistent. The movement looks a bit more consistent. I would put that in for sure. So if I had to choose between the two, I would probably go VSB. But VAB seems to be doing a lot better now. So yeah, you probably are fine with either, but VSB just had that consistency. I liked the consistency on it. Let's see, Mugsy. It's been snowing all day in Northern Ontario. Okay, yeah, I suppose if it's raining here, like, I like to think of myself as Northern Ontario, but I'm not. I mean, Ottawa. I mean, Northern Ontario is like what, Timmins, up in that area. So yeah, definitely interesting. Yes, I know, Paul. I was 50 seconds late on the bell today. Bought EQCL, feeling good. I do like EQCL. All right. Let's see. On Blossom, I didn't see too many people bragging about their earnings, just saying. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys right now, I love Blossom, but I only look at your guys's. If you follow me, I look at what you posted. That's the only feed I go through on Blossom. So let me just pull this up, guys. So when I'm here, oh, here, who's that? That's me. So this is so yeah, at Mountain Finance. If you're already on Blossom, find me, follow me. I'll follow you back. I'll follow you back because I'll tell you why. I don't like. Here's the home feed. I'm gonna go to the home feed. All right. So here's the home feed. I don't go here. I just don't. I honestly, I don't care about the home feed. Why don't I care about the home feed? Because I have a fantastic feed right here on the side. So these here are all of the people that are following me and I'm following them back. And those are the ones, if you guys are over there, I want to be commenting on your stuff. I don't want to be commenting on somebody who I don't really know in the main feed. So I'm generally going through here and, oh, look, Tatiana followed me. I got to go over there and follow Tatiana. There we go. But yeah, this is what I like to do. So, if you're not yet on Blossom, well, heck, check it out. Go check it out. I'm going to drop a thing in here for you. There we go. The Nightbot will give you a link here in a second. So, but make sure you follow me because I want to see what you guys are posting. I want to comment. I can't comment on everything, of course. I will honestly say, I don't get over there as much as I want to because, well, a lot of times I'm doing stuff for the channel per se, but I do love it over there. It is pretty darn cool. Okay, that was hello, Tatiana. If you're here and watching, hello. Anyway, let's go back to big screen. All right, let's see here. Rory, November looks to be bearish. I think you're wrong, Candace. What do you mean I'm wrong? I said November's going to end in the red. Isn't that kind of bearish? But unless you're thinking we're going to stay bearish next week. And I'm not calling next week bullish. I'm not calling it bearish. I'm calling it flat. That's what I'm calling next week. So this week coming up, I think it's going to be pretty flat. All right. Dr. Acula bought some candy today. Awesome. YGGI. What do you think of swinging MSTE? Little bit too risky for me. I'm being honest. I'm giving you my honest answer. Because I'm very particular on the companies I'm swinging. A lot of the companies I'm swinging, I need really, really solid fundamentals. I'm not saying strategy doesn't, but there's just a little bit too much extra volatility. There's more volatility than I like over there at MSTE. And this is the other thing too. Let me just point this out. I don't normally swing covered call ETFs. I will occasionally, but I normally don't. I'm normally doing my swings on on growth stocks, on regular stocks, for the simple reason that all of whatever the earnings are going into that share price. So that share price itself has a bigger kind of a dial, a needle that going up and down. So yeah, I almost never will swing a covered call ETF. Almost never. I have in the past did some trades on a couple ETHY, so ETHY, or BTCY, or the purpose Bitcoin. Sometimes I've done it on those, but also YTSL, so the Tesla one. Those are the only ones that I have done it occasionally, but normally most of my Tesla swings, I'm actually using TSLA, not the US stock, but the CDR. I love using the CDRs on the bigger US stocks for swing trades. It works fine for me. And some people are like, oh, but what about the volume? The volume's pretty low. I've never had a problem with the volume. I really haven't. It's not like I'm doing day trading. Day trading is where I would be a little more concerned about the volume. But on a swing trade that maybe it'll last a day, maybe it'll last a week. I've got a couple trades right now that are probably going to last a month or more. So I'm okay with that. TSX is at 0. It's white. Let me just take a gander here right now and see where the TSX is. Oh boy, guys. We have our final on the TSX. Let's take a look. It ended in the green, 0.15, 0.15% up. So we're staying with the green. There we go. But the white is interesting, Paul. Yeah. Or what is blue and green, or sorry, blue and red, if we put those together? Is that kind of a purple, maybe? I don't know. All right. Isaac is in the house with a hello, everyone. Hello, Isaac. How are you? All right. Dr. Akula, I bought MSTE today at $7.67. I mean, yeah, I will say right now, I mean, MSTE is definitely down. So it's not a bad entry point if you are looking to get exposure to, to it. But like I said, I prefer, personally, I prefer HHIS, just because I am still getting some strategy, but I'm getting exposure to a lot of other things too. So, it gives me a little bit of that diversification, a little bit of extra safety. I like it. Let's see. Ian says, holy banana bread, I might be up overall today. There we go. What can I say? It's a green day. Green day. Probably the weirdest green day ever, but Rory, good gravy. MSTE is at 767. Geez, wasn't watching that nosedive. All right, how to tell if Brookfield is cooking the books? is this a joke? I'm just asking because it comes off like the beginning of a joke. How to tell if Brookfield is cooking the books? They're open? No, just kidding. Dr. Akira says it went back up to 811. Cowboy, been watching MSTE, MSTY, don't know what to think. And I think Rory's in that same boat that I'm at. Just avoid MSTE. Let's see, figure Q day and C day are a safer play. Absolutely. Yeah, I like Q day. I like C day for sure. Jim says, I'm definitely going to watch the Evolve interview. Oh, yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. I can't wait. I can't wait. It'll actually be the first CEO that we'll be doing on the channel. Um, let's see. Mark says, picked up some Topicus. It has some down of the influence. It has come down on the influence of CSU. Yeah, absolutely. And Topicus.com, because they, of course, they were spun out of Constellation Software. And, I think, and I know people are saying, oh, AI it's gonna ruin their business. I don't think it will. I think if they use AI and they integrate AI into what they're offering, I think they'll be fine. So I have no doubt about that. Let's see, Rory was watching a trucker live going from Winnipeg to Calgary, hit snow along the Trans-Canada Highway around Swift Current. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, you never know, guys. It might be when we do this week on the weekend, it might be snowing. Jay, transferring cash to the TFSA is like watching paint dry. Yes, yes, it can be. Now, if you're using Wealthsimple, then it's a little better. It's a little better. They will let you they'll give you access to so much of it. And it usually depends on quite literally how much you're holding there. If you move a significant amount into Wealthsimple, they'll let you they'll give you a significant I don't want to call it a bonus, but they'll give you a significant amount that you can get access to right away. Because, I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, look at it this way. If you've got a ton of money already in Wealthsimple, and then you do a big transfer and it doesn't go through, they can sell your stocks. They can sell your stocks and cover it. So, and that would be in the fine print. So obviously, don't transfer money if you don't have it. But I don't need to tell you guys that. That's for sure. Quest Trade. Oh God, yeah. All right. Yeah, I have nothing nice to say about Quest Trade, which is why I normally don't talk about them. Jim says, let's see, I watched the beginning of the Long Point video and realized their products aren't for me, so and turned the volume down and knocked out some dishes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And let's just talk just a little bit. Somebody requested, so I didn't even know those ones existed. I knew about the Beta Pro ones because, they're outside of my risk profile. But somebody had requested that I cover them, and I was just like, I looked at them, and I'm like, well, you know what? I did the Beta Pro ones. I'll do these ones more as I kind of, hopefully it came off the way I was hoping. I was kind of framing it as more of a cautionary tale. Like, guys, these are out here, but you probably don't want to touch them. So, Jim, the fact that you did your dishes instead of watching, that's fine by me. It's absolutely fine. To me, it's like there's a very small niche group of you. Like, there's some of you that will probably touch some of these. Rory. But for the most part, I think just being aware of what they are, being aware of how they work, and being aware of why you don't want to use them is what I think most of you are going to walk away from that video with. Or at least I'm hoping that's what you're going to walk away with that video with. Because yeah, there's, would I ever use any of them? I won't say no. Not as an investment though. It would be more or less an income play, but even then, I probably would still stick with a couple of the key Beta Pro ones just because I know them a little better. At least I've watched them longer type thing. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I still say, you know what? It's a good cautionary tale. It's good to know them. And I also put in the math because I had a few people ask me after the Beta Pro, well, how is it that because they reset the leverage every day, how can that, how does that hurt you? How does that hurt your money? So yeah, I actually put the math in on this one just to sort of give you a very simple idea of how it works. All right, Rory, HYLD looks like it's stepping, is that downwards? Oh boy, yeah. I mean, yeah, HYLD has a lot of anything that has a lot of tech probably has come down quite a bit this week. So I imagine, HHIS, HYLD, QDay, they'll have all felt because, most of the underlying assets has gone down. And that's the thing. I mean, whatever you're holding, whatever ETF you're holding, if its underlying assets go down, that ETF is coming down. It's the way it works. Probably, I've tried to think if there was even an exception. I guess you could argue with something like Yield Max. Yield Max, you could say, well, they're not actually holding it because of the synthetic covered calls with some of their funds. But nonetheless, if the price is coming down, there's going to be less pressure for people to necessarily want to get some of those. So it could still impact it. I'm not really a big fan of those Yield Max funds. I know a few of you guys like them, and that's fine. They're just kind of outside of my risk, my risk profile for sure. Cowboy been moving quarterly out of the TFSA, sold off and went to monthly, bi-monthly in TFSA, picked up 3 of the 7 at lower price. Feeling happy. Nice. Yeah. There's that thing. I mean, some people, like I know there's people out there that hate quarterly dividends, and I can understand that. I do hold some quarterly dividend companies, but it is a lot more exciting to get a dividend every month, or now twice a month. It's almost like having a job, getting a dividend twice a month. So that's pretty cool. Kirkland Lake, probably between 5 to 10 centimeters when done. Yeah, and they're guesstimating. The weather is guesstimating that we're going to get about 10 centimeters here on a Sunday. Now, I'm not going to do this week out in the backyard, guys. I know last December, we actually did one little live stream out in the backyard with the snow falling. Yeah, that's not happening this year. I don't think so. Rory, I did pick up EIT to get paid more monthly. Nice. And I'm still a big fan of Canoe. Cowboy working on the night, but that's awesome. Yeah, good old Bob Seger song. Love it. Donald Fagan, the Nightbot. I actually wished I could change the name of Nightbot. That was one of the things that's just like, I'd like to call it the Banana Bot, or I don't know, well, maybe not the Banana Bot. That does sound, that sounds kind of stupid, but I still would like to have it changed. Doorpat says, I've blocked more people than I follow on Blossom, so I only see the things I am interested in. Some people just yap or brag too much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, any social media, whether it be Blossom, X, Facebook. Yeah, if there's somebody there that is not bringing the energy that you want, there's nothing wrong with blocking them. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. Paul says, with strategy, people are not believing in the MNAV being between 1.5 and 2 anymore. MNAV is 1.157, so people just treating it as BTC holdings only now. Same with Metaplanet. Okay, interesting. Yeah, something to think about for sure. Let's see here. SMP 500 shows green on my tracker. It does. I just took a quick glance. Hey, let's pull it up. Whoops, wrong button. Here we go. Yeah, the S&P 500 finished at 0.13 to the green. The NASDAQ, though, they did finish to the red, 0.28 down. Dow Jones finished in the green. Russell finished in the green. everybody's in the green, but the NASDAQ and the US dollar. Those are the only things that are not in the green. All right. Paul says, I let my Blossom Pro expire. Last day is today. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there is a Blossom Pro, guys, that does give you access to a bit more stuff, but honestly, the regular Blossom gives you a lot. So, there's no pressure unless you want the Pro, but I think the regular Blossom is just fine, personally. RD, let's see, Constellation. I was reading that all as one thing. Constellation Couche-Tard. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see. Hi, Candace. Hi, y'all. Let's see. I bought Life using the margin. Ah, Life. Interesting. So Life is that Brompton? Is Life Brompton? I think Life is Brompton, the life insurance one. Let me double check here. Because I'm thinking, like, is your memory slipping? Let's find out. No. Life has evolved. Life, of course, has evolved. Duh. All right, the Global Healthcare Enhanced Yield Fund. Why was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, Life. This is another Evolve one here. Let me just pull this up here. So I'm going to go all the way back 3 years. So yeah, I mean, this is one that I've never been super crazy. This is, and you guys know I like Evolve. Life has just been one of these funds that hasn't really caught my interest. Now, mind you, guys, it's not designed for growth. It is it is an income fund. So you're looking at a 12.128%. And you can see, for the most part, flat. This here, Liberation Day, and then they just found a new flat a little bit lower. So it's one of the ones that I haven't been super excited about, only because there have been, of course, more exciting ones that Evolve is holding, like Bank. And let's just go to Bank, B-A-N-K. Here we go. And when we look at the last year on Bank, you can sort of see that Bank. There's your Liberation Day in here. Bank's been on a move up, big old move up. I mean, they've been doing really, really good. So I've been more excited about Bank than I have been about Life. But Life brings that diversity too, because you are getting global in there. All right. Did you dress up for Halloween? Not this year. Not this year. Although I will say, guys, a couple of years ago, was it a couple of years or 3? It might have been 3 years ago. If you guys, those of you who've been around for a while, I used to be a guest over on the over on the Crypto Night in Canada, which was the one run by Tim and Nancy Danter. And one Halloween, we did the dress up. So I did my face up with makeup to make myself look like a pumpkin. And, and Tim Danner got done up. And I think Freakin from the Freakin Show, he was over there dressed up as well. And, of course, it was my idea. So, but it was fun. But yeah, no, I haven't really, I really haven't had that opportunity to dress so much. Like, the problem is, I guess here's the problem. I'll give you a couple of things here. If I make a themed video, like let's say, for example, I have a video dropping on October 31st and I dress myself up as a vampire or something, well, it's going to be a tiny sliver of my viewership is going to come in around Halloween and appreciate it. Other people might be watching it in December and it's like, why is she wearing fangs? What's going on here? Is this like the Gothic finance report? Yeah, there'll be stuff like that. Anyway, it just comes down to it doesn't work on the evergreen. But for live streams, yeah. You guys bug me next year. Bug me next year and say, Candace, you gotta wear a costume on the Halloween stream or whichever one's closest to it. I have, I'm sure we'll, I don't know, actually, when is it? Is Halloween? I think it's going to be might be on Saturday next year. The year after it'll be on Sunday though. Anyway, we'll figure it out, guys. Let's see, Cowboy. Last video is like the fools who lick an electric fence to see if it's live. Yep. Um, I've if you've ever been, if you've ever been jolted by one of them fences, oh boy. I got jolted once. It was basically we're driving out through the country. This was with work, years and years ago, and there was a field with some cows, and I was just like, "Hey, pull over! I want to check out these cows." And don't ask me why. So I walked up to the fence. I'm not even thinking, and this cow was paying attention to me, and so I start hitting the fence, going, "Come here, cow!" Bang, 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 hitting on the fence. Next thing you know, I happened to hit the fence as the pulse came through. It put me on my butt. It, the guy who was driving me around, because we are delivering a bunch of recycling pamphlets, um, he laughed his head off. He laughed his head off, and he was like, "You can tell you're from the city." Yep, yep. Guilty as charged. Brian, in your TFSA, if you have an ETF that is hedged to the snow peso, but you want to sell and buy the unhedged version ETF, will that make CRA an angry panda, or will they call it two different ETFs? What? Let me just. All right. So, all right, the snow peso is, I take it, that means the Canadian dollar. All right, so if you have an ETF pegged or hedged to the Canadian dollar, but you want to sell and buy the unhedged version. Okay, I get what you mean. So basically, it's like selling if you sold bank and then you bought bank.u. Yeah, they're two different ETFs. They're not going to, that's not an issue. That's not an issue at all, to be honest. So it's kind of almost a loophole there, but they are two different ETFs. I mean, I wouldn't make it into a big habit because, if they ever looked at you for any other reason and then they looked at that a little closer, they could probably, I don't say they probably could come in and say, "Hey, wait a minute, you found a loophole." But that legitimately wouldn't, at least their algorithm wouldn't get flagged. So, but if they manually looked at it, they could say, "What's going on here?" Let's see. RD sold a bit of Palantir. I had 10x'd it. Nice. Let's see. I love your channel. Did you buy anything today? I did. Um, did I buy? I did buy. I bought something in the challenge, but you guys will find that out. You guys will find out about that a little bit later. But for the most part, I'm spending most of my money later in the month. Later in the month, because I do think we're gonna. I think we're gonna see some good deals as we move on. Brian says, my bank stocks are the only thing left that pays quarterly. I have several of the weekly and, of course, the Canadian twice monthly ETFs. Okay, fair enough. Jay says, I hope we get 30 centimeters of snow if the Riders make it to the finals. Winnipeg hospitality. Yeah, boy, yeah, that Grey Cup is not that far away. I know it's this month sometime. Jim says, I like the semi-monthly payments and keep skipping the list. The buy more of them. Pretty excited about the 60 or the 60. I know. I keep wanting to say 60. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about 60 as well. I think that's going to be a good one for sure. Brian says, yes, I'll add the 60 possibly as well. Would you ever make paid courses on how to swing trade? Yes, I would. Is it something that's going to happen this month? Probably not. But there is one option. I mean, if you really want help, I mean, I do consultations. You just have to reach out to me at admin@mountainfinance.ca. That's one way you could get some help with that if you wanted it. But for the most part right now, I'm actually looking at paid workshops. It'll be like a course, but in a workshop format. So I can do smaller parcels and make them a lot cheaper too, which is one of the things too. Like, yeah, I want to be paid for my time, but I also don't want to be milking my audience, if that makes any sense. The Cowboy, let's see, the 60, is that bi-monthly? It is. It is bi-monthly for sure. Let's see, just swing HOD to retirement. So, of course, HOD is one of those Betamax one. That's the inverse oil ETF. It's a 2Xer. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Brian says it will be Cowboy, but last I checked, still not trading today. Oh, guys, I have coffee here. It's because Mary isn't in here to tell you guys to hit the like button. That's why I haven't had any coffee yet. Oh, that's so good. And Jill put some pumpkin spices in it, so it has that pumpkiny flavor. Let's see, Cowboy. The HOC has a great retirement. 60 is semi-monthly, and the Big Six runs the same strategy as Biggie and Canny. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be. I think it's definitely going to be a good one. So it's kind of interesting. Oh, the funny thing is, my contact over at Evolve, she's the one who got me onto it the other day. She just messaged me and say, "Hey, have you seen this?" And you know what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you know, by showing this to me, I'm going to put it over there on Blossom and probably drop it in the Discord. And that's exactly what I did. Michelle says, Kay, it's too late to invest in RSCL. Price is up, and I'm thinking there is very little room for long-term growth. Let's take a look. Oh, I'm already on. I thought I was big screen. Okay. RSCL. Let's pull it on up here. So this is your Global X. Your Global X enhanced Russell. Let's see, Russell 2000. I'm just seeing here which one. I'm gonna pull up this one. And that's definitely not the one I wanted. Let's try this again here. RSCL. They're giving me like 3 different versions, so we'll try this one here. CHI. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, here we go. Getting a little bit here. Let's look at the. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, so this one has gone up quite a bit, but it's new too at the same time. Now it has retraced a little bit, but yeah, I think I would agree, Michelle. I would wait. I would wait for it to come down a little bit. I would almost say if it comes down to about $22, that would probably be a really good place to get back in at, or even 23 between 20. Sorry, 20, not $22. Sorry, right here, 22.85, 22.85 to I'd say about 23.30. I would say in that area there, that to me would be a really good place to start a dollar cost average on that one. All right. Rory says, I think Parliament dresses up as Halloweeners. The Liberals and Conservatives are just getting scary. Yeah, it's kind of crazy in the Parliament right now. I'm not going to lie. I mean, we've had at least one person switch parties, and another person resign. Yeah, I don't even think the craziness is over yet. It's not looking good. And I know plenty of you. I know there's a good amount of you who are Pierre Poilievre fans, but with that leadership review coming up and some of the craziness that's been going on with the Conservative Party right now, that could hurt them. That could hurt them. But you know, there's lots of time for things to calm down before then. Bleak is in the house with a hey y'all. Let's see here. Dr. Aklula says, buy Ethi at $2, sell it for double your money, and get paid while you wait. That's not really that bad of an idea. You know, I have actually recently I did a small ETH swing. But yeah, if Bitcoin starts moving again and crypto normally follows, and I do think we're going to get back up to 130 before. And I've said this. I thought we were going to get there before the end of the year. So I still think we can get there by the end of the year. But we'll definitely get there, I think, before we go into whatever kind of crypto winter comes next. Let's see. I love that you're going to do education paid videos. Can't wait. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you can't wait, but you gotta wait. Let's see. Rory says, "Oh snap, Mary's gonna hit me." At least, hey, you know what? Hit the like button now, Rory, and you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Michael, what was? Piton, what was earning? Good question. Let me take a look and see if I got. I'll take a look and see if we got it. I'll see if we got it here. Let's Let's see here. Peloton Interactive. There we are. Let's take a look and see. Oh, good earnings. Good earnings. Like, look at this. This here is the sign of good earnings right here. And then, of course, I get my little green earnings down here. Let's see what they did. So holy banana bread. So they beat earnings by 163.44%. Oh, wow. And revenue, they were up by 1.87. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. So no wonder. Look at this. They went from 654 up to 773. So yeah, if you were holding Peloton today, I don't know how many of you guys do. Maybe Michael, you might be the only one. I don't know, but this is not too shabby, at all. All right, down to one vote this morning. Down to one vote. Oh, I don't know what happened now. Let's see. Paul says ETH, 2 to 4 means ETH has to go from 3,500 to 7,000. I do not see that happening this cycle. Probably not. But and that's the thing is though, when it comes to swing trading, and here let's do it. Let's All right, we'll close out the market close. There we go. I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to pull up a whiteboard. So here's the funny thing. When you're swing trading, right, the amount that you're trading, that really determines what you need to make. So I'll just pull over. I'm going to grab, we'll grab this one here. So if you're looking at a stock, and we'll just say the stock is $10. All right, so if you're swinging, and I'm going to just say, in this case here, we're going to say this is a stock that went to $10.10. That's all it did in the day. Let's say that's all it did. Well, if you were swing trading one, share, you make $10. You make 10 cents. And if you were doing 10, well, you make $1. So you can sort of see how this sort of goes. If you were swing trading 100, you've made $10. And if you were swing trading 1,000, you made $100. So what I like to do, and just to put this out here when it comes to swing trading, is let's just put a double line here. So I like to go in. I like to go in, and usually I'll go in about 1,000 shares. Usually, sometimes a little higher, but for the most part, 1,000 shares. So I'm in that boat. Now, a lot of times what I will do is I will look for something that, if it was $10, I'm looking for something that has that potential to go up to $11. That's what I'm looking for. So for that to happen, a couple of things. I'm not going to just buy something that's at an all-time high, because how is it going to get to $11? No. But if this here is your stock and all of a sudden there's a big dip for whatever reason, say it's market volatility, say there's a correction that happened, let's say they had a bad earnings, but they have good fundamentals. So say this is normally an $11 stock. So we'll put that there. There's your $11 stock, and it does fall down to $10 based on whatever macroeconomical thing has occurred. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that because it's probably going to come back up, and there's a chance it's going to get to my target. If it doesn't get to my target, let's say it only makes it halfway and then starts coming back down, I can throw in a stop loss, and I can end up with a little bit of profit. So even if I ended up, let's say I ended up selling it at 1040 instead of my 11. Well, guess what? With $1,000, that's $400 in profit right there. So that's one of the things. And that's why, if you think about why people use margin, all right, I don't use margin, but some people do. Because if you don't have the money to be able to buy 1,000 shares, well, if you borrow the money, which is what margin is, then you do. But you want to be very careful because if you're borrowing that money, you are, for one, you're going to be paying some interest on it. You know, there's interest, absolutely. There's also something called a margin call where they can demand that we want our money back. We want our money back. You know, and a lot of times it's because, you know, whatever asset you borrowed it for, whatever your asset you're looking at or you're using as collateral on it, if it drops, then they're like, yeah, we think things are going really bad here. Let's get our money back. And it's you know, when you sign up, it's all built into it. So you know, it's not like it's a surprise. It's not like out of the blue they come and say, yeah, we want our money back. It will be built into the actual agreement. In other words, read the fine print. Read the fine print. But yeah, that's kind of that thing, is that the larger you have now, and this is a little rich for my blood, but imagine if you could buy 10,000 shares of whatever you're trading. So, you know, in this case here, that $10, if it went to 11, well, that's not $1,000. You know, that's $10,000 right there. That's what happens. A lot of big institutional. You guys are familiar with Larry. I don't know where he is today, but he may not have realized there was a stream. But that's what he would do, because he's not using his own money. He has a firm. He brings in a bunch of investors' money, pools it all together. So he's got that huge amount to play with. But that's why they say if you have money, you can make money, because it becomes easy. Now, if you think about it, when you're day trading, so if we take it a little bit farther, if you have 1,000 shares and you're day trading and that thing comes from $10 and it goes to $10.01. Well, in that case there, with 1,000 shares, you know, you made $10. Simple as that. Bang, boom. You know, you just basically, and that's what a lot of day traders will do. They'll be looking at chipping. They'll be looking at chipping little amounts. You know, so maybe if it makes it, of course, to 10.10, that's fantastic. There's $100. But with a day trader, you're thinking, well, that's kind of a small amount. Well, maybe not, because a lot of day traders, they might have 6 trades going at the same time, and it might be a situation where you bought it at 10, you sold it at 10:01. That might have been maybe that was a 3-minute deal. That might have been a 3-minute trade. So that's where they kind of make a little bit of money, and they're sort of stacking that money that way. But, you know, they also, with day trading, you don't have that luxury to sit and stay in. You usually end up in a situation where you have a specific stop loss. So, for example, if it falls down a certain amount, you sell it, you take the loss, you just move on. And the end of the day, you want your losses to be as low as possible compared to your wins. So as long as your wins are higher than your losses, you have a good day. Well, at least you have a green day. You know, if you're only like $10 to the good at the end of the day, that kind of sucks. But anyway, it's kind of the way it all pulls together. All right, now let's get back to Big Me. We'll go back to Big Me for now. All right. Rory says, if MSTE were to maintain its div and have a fair price for the next 20 years, I'd be retired next week. Nice. Guys, I was mentioning Mary, 10 minutes ago? So here we go. And Mary is now in the house. Hello, Mary. Mary is our official captain of the like button. And guys, now I do get to have another coffee. Fantastic. Oh, so good. Huge Mellow says, have a good weekend, Candace. Thanks for all your valuable information. You're welcome. People listen to our margin is no bueno. Stay away from it. Yeah. Like I said, I don't like margin. I don't like it. But I understand why some people will use it. Cowboy says, can't see me doing that. Nope. Let's see. Pat Visa with MasterCard sounds like a dice game. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Day trading, super, super dangerous. Swing trading, a little bit less. And the big thing with swing trading is, and this is kind of the way I do it. Like I said, I swing trade companies that have good fundamentals. So if I get into a trade that I know that company, I know the company's coming back. So, that's kind of that thing. And also make sure that in my case, I like to use money that I know I can let it ride for a while because, I don't want to take losses. But what ends up happening is obviously if everything gets stuck if all my capital gets stuck, in a bad market, then I've got nothing making money at that time. So that's always a bad thing. And it's always a possibility. It does happen from time to time. So, there is risks. There are risks to trading. A lot, and they're bigger risks than investing. 100%, 100%. All right, guys, we're at the hour. Well, actually, we're past the hour mark. So if you got your last minute questions, get them on in. Get them on in here before we head into what could be a snow-filled, well, not filled, a half snow-filled weekend. A half snow-filled weekend. Oh, so good. All right. So we are going to, of course, we will be here on Sunday. We will have this week as usual. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, you guys have been fantastic. The last couple of live streams, oh boy. Actually, this week on Wednesday went past the 2-hour mark. That's I kind of gear this week, the market closed to be an hour to an hour and a half. So, we went, and we could have went longer. But oh well, it was still fun. It was fun. Yeah, coming up this week, I'm not sure what videos I'm doing yet. I do have to. I have been sort of putting off making you know how I made my favorite ETF video? I have had a lot of requests for me to do the same thing for my favorite US ETF. So I got to get that done. I don't know if it should be this month. It really should be. We'll do it soon. We'll do it soon. Gursky says, Candace, how often do you execute your swing trades? There's no set number. It comes down to what the opportunity is. And so I'll give you an example. So right now, the channel members, people who are channel members right now, I send out a report of my swing trades. So they get to see how often, which ones I have. So I think right now I believe I've got 4 right now. I've got 4 on the go. Now they're all in the red at the moment. So, but this week, in addition to those 4, I think I've had 2, maybe 3 others that were all successful trades. So right now I'm kind of waiting on these. One of them isn't a bigger Air Canada trade. So you guys know I'm doing Air Canada in the 0 to 100K. This is in the trading account. So it's not in that account. So there is that one too. So technically I'm doing 2 Air Canada swings, but this one's of course much bigger. That one I am anticipating it being there for a while, but you never know. You never know. So I do look at it as it's kind of an interesting thing, I guess. So, all right, Cowboy, this is a great question. And this sort of ties into what Gursky asked in a way. With your swings, do you set a time limit as well as a dollar figure? So it's not that I per se set a time limit per se, but what I will do, and all right, let's go back to, let's go back here. So, all right, if I'm setting up a trade, let's just say, all right, let's say I decide I want to do a Tesla trade. So I'm going to do a Tesla trade, and I will, of course, I'll use the CDR because, one, it's cheaper, so I can buy more, and I also don't have to deal with currency. I don't have to deal with currency conversions. So if I'm going to do this, what I will normally do is I'll buy about 1,000 of them, and I will say how much. So normally, let's say, for example, How much is that one? It's somewhere around 40 bucks. We'll just say at 41. Say I get into the trade at 41.24. Well, then I create a target. So I will have a target. And for me, that target will probably be with Tesla. It'll probably be 42.24. So what does that mean? If that's my target? Well, what that means is, if we get some healthy growth going on with Tesla, or they're coming back from one of their big, because Tesla's up and down all the time. Usually what this means is that I will drop in a stop loss as soon as it crosses 42.24. And then I will let that stop loss grow as it grows. So I have to manually do it because I don't have a trailing stop loss. So I will adjust it as it goes up. And sometimes it doesn't work out right. So Tesla may be going up, but then it may have a small hitch and it just hits my stop loss and I end up selling at a profit and I miss this second little bit of growth that may have happened that day. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But typically I like to make, ideally I'd like to make $1,000 on a swing trade. All right. Now you mentioned time frame though. So here's this thing. If with Tesla, with Tesla, I know that tends to be, because of the volatility in Tesla, that tends to be a shorter trade. So I'll normally come in with Tesla thinking it's going to be it's probably going to be, whoops, oh, I lost my thing. It's probably going to be 1 to 2 days. It's probably going to be a 1 to 2 day trade for the most part. Now, if I go past 2 days and Tesla is just lagging and just not getting there, at that point, I might look at dropping in a stop loss as soon as it's back in the green and then just ride it up to whatever I can get out of it. There was XEG. So just not that long ago, there was that whole thing where there was a news article that broke that Israel was saying that because Hamas had fired on their guards, that they were going to hit them with some missiles or something. And that looked like it was going to break the ceasefire. So I didn't have time to act, but I got in pretty quickly and I bought 1,000. I bought 1,000 of XEG. And by the end of that day, it was slightly in the red. So it did not do what I wanted it to do. So what I basically did is the next day, it recovered a tiny bit. But I ended up I got out of it because, it didn't work out. I got out with it was either $10 or $25. It wasn't much. I got out with a tiny, tiny profit. But I bailed on that one because this one was all based on news. It was based on news. Now, if that had escalated a little bit further than it did, you would have seen some spikes in the price of oil that would have spiked this stock. This ETF, and yeah, I would have probably hit my target at that point. So you do have to be adjustable. You can't sort of go in and say, okay, I'm only going to sell it at this point. Sometimes it is good to have a time frame, and I do. I will have a time frame. I will usually say, when I tell the channel members, I usually would say this is expected to be a short turnaround, and if it's not, a lot of times, yeah, I'm not going to keep something locked up in something. I'm not going to keep capital locked up in something that's not working. I will pull it out. I'm usually pretty lucky that I don't often pull things out at a loss, but I could if it made sense. If it made sense because there was other opportunities. So for example, let's say I was in that XEG trade. If I was in that XEG trade, whoops, and let's say I was down about $100. I was sitting down about $100 in that trade, and I saw a really good opportunity with Tesla, and it really looked, everything, my technical analysis, everything was like, yeah, this is gonna move, and I don't have, everything is all tied up. Well, in a case like that, it might make sense to take a $100 loss, drop it all into Tesla, and then, pull out $1,000 out of Tesla. And then in that case, when you put them together, you're in $900. So yeah, that to me that makes sense, and that is something I will certainly do. All right, all right, there we go. Gursky, since the market has dipped, it might be a good time to try a few swing trades. Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be looking again on Monday to see where things are at. Like I already got in on Meta, so I'm already in on a Meta trade. It's dropped a lot since I got in on that trade, and but I'm still happy with it. I'm still happy with it. All right, Lucian. So how are you going to give these courses? That's a good question, and I haven't gotten that far. So there is a thing on YouTube. So you can add courses to YouTube. So it might be through YouTube, because that would be convenient. Because I wouldn't mind keeping everything all together. But like I said, right now, it's probably, well, I can tell you 100% it's not happening in 2025. But that is a 2026 goal for sure. Even if it is just to get a couple of the first workshops up. And we'll have to figure out, there's so much I have to figure out about it, but yeah. Just put your keys in the bowl. I've been waiting for 3 years. Oh, you've been, what, for courses? Holy banana bread. All right, that's a long wait. All right, now the pressure's on. Now I know I've got people who've been waiting for 3 years. Holy cow. All right, Michelle says, have a great weekend, everybody. Let's see, when Trump starts yapping, it's good to have a few bucks ready to buy the panic. You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that one for sure. Okay, guys. Once again, you guys are a fantastic audience. We will be back on Sunday. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern, yeah, is it Standard Time now. We'll be on Sunday. We'll do this all over again. It'll be a great show. I believe, I don't know if Ian is still here, but I think Ian wants to have us look at his portfolio, and maybe we can get him on the screen while we do it. Yeah, it's hard to say. You never know. All right, guys. Until next weekend, until this weekend, until Sunday, enjoy your Saturday. Hopefully you don't have to deal with too much snow. Yeah, I'm still kind of like, no, I don't want the snow. All right. Anyway, guys, we'll see you Sunday. Until then, take care. Have a fantastic weekend.